and welcome to this edition of NFSTC's Forensic Update. 3D printing is new, but investigators recognize the benefits it could bring into the courtroom. Forensic uses for 3D printing could include anything from creating a scale model of a crime scene or accident to enlarging tiny particles of evidence so that they can be easily seen and understood. The process could allow jurors to physically hold in their hands a piece of evidence, such as a large replica of a suspect's fingerprint that otherwise would be very difficult to see. 3D models created from high-res crime scene scans could rapidly capture evidence such as tool marks or impressions that traditionally would be collected using casting or lifting techniques. 3D printing is in its early stages, but as the technology becomes more developed and more evidence is captured digitally, it's likely to be applied to many future investigations. Amid some strong opposition, the U.S. Supreme Court has upheld a Maryland law that allows police to collect DNA from persons arrested for major crimes without first obtaining a warrant. Those opposing the decision state the ruling violates the Fourth Amendment, which prohibits searching a person for evidence of a crime when there is no basis for suspicion. The Supreme Court, however, concluded that DNA samples taken from arrestees is a reasonable search that can be considered part of a routine booking procedure, much like fingerprinting. The ruling was passed with a 5-4 vote. Recent high-profile incidents involving bath salts have led researchers at the University of Virginia to review designer drug laws. The researchers presented a case study of a patient who developed hallucinations, delusions, and violent behavior after a 3-week binge on bath salts. The review, published in the June edition of Journal of Addiction Medicine, includes implications for medical management and drug policies, dangers and reactions when combined with other medications, and the forensic challenges in identifying these substances. It also highlights how these stimulants, sold as bath salts, stain removers, and other household products, have been able to evade legal controls. To date, there are no medical treatment guidelines, which will require further research and coordinated public health efforts. A new NIJ-funded study on bloodstain patterns aims to put solid metrics behind impact stain classifications. Traditional methods of classification have been at times subjective and possibly controversial. Researchers from the University of California, Davis used a twofold approach that gathered measurable data from digital images of stains. They then gauged error rates for human interpretation of those stains. The study resulted in a library of stain patterns that analysts could use for objective analysis. To view the report in its entirety, click on the link in the video description below. ForensicScienceSimplified.org now includes e-reader and PDF files for your computer or mobile device. You can download the entire series or just get the topics you need. Now the content can be accessed from anywhere, anytime, even offline. For more information, log on to ForensicScienceSimplified.org. It's time to roll out this week's Technique of the Week. Scott Campbell of Ron Smith & Associates is back with another installment of his Collecting Tire Exemplars presentation. Click on the embedded link for Part 3 of the 7-part series. Do you have a question about forensic science techniques or CSI myths? Well, if so, we'd love to hear from you. Send your questions to us at info@nfstc.org, and maybe your email could be featured on our next Forensic Update. Until next time, I'm Bill Duffin for NFSTC.